Saturday PM, stretch, mobility time, rolling into some training. So I had a good session at lunchtime before I went and fed the machine. Good food, really good food. Loads of olive oil. And then chilled this afternoon, loads of fluids, loads and loads of water, and some fruit. And now back into a good flexibility, mobility session, just to use up the time, use the space, and push the body. Work in all areas. I've already been doing this for half an hour, I think it is, so far. Loads of stood up work, working on shoulders, triceps, chest, individually and together. I'm really trying to loosen it off. Lots of rotation work, lots of long hold work, and just getting after it. Then working down the body, hitting my lats, my side bends, my lower back, and my abs from obviously doing the ab roller early on, stretching those out, make sure you're hitting all areas. Just hitting all areas. And now going down onto the floor, so I've gone from standing, worked the lower positions, moving left to right with my legs, then down into like a straddle, and then from the straddle down onto the deck, and now nice V, like straddles sitting and working. Sat upright, working each side, really trying to open up my hips, working these together, i.e. bending forwards, going to one side, going to the other side, long holds, using the breathing that I was talking about earlier on. Breathe in, hold, breathe out, drop down, and just going through it. And there's a lot of areas people, again, just pay lip service to. It's like, around your glutes and your hips. If you don't really get into stretching them and they get tight, then, you can really feel it. I mean, I was super flexible. Well, when was that? A little while ago. And then obviously just over time, just still flexible, but not as flexible as I was. But I know every time I get into it, it just goes. Same as soon as I'd start doing savage squats again, my legs are just going to go and just explode, and trousers won't fit. So yeah, I could try and give you a couple of examples, and also something to bear in mind, especially when you're doing all your sat up work. You can find if you're not really stretching your back, you can become weak in certain areas. And I noticed it ages ago when I was doing some drills in BJJ. I was like, fucking hell, I'd literally somehow been concentrating on all these other areas, but I hadn't created strength for my back, so I'd become weak in certain areas. And then I just combated it and changed it. So, and that comes down to a lot of what I was talking about earlier on. When you're doing your sit-ups, instead of just coming down and leaning forwards, maintain that straight, upright position, which is harder on your hips and harder for you to maintain, but it's obviously better for your back and better for your shoulders, especially if you're doing overhead work. A lot of guys tend to find that when they do squats, they just go super lazy, and their elbows just go back, and then what happens is when they suddenly have to come around, they're just really, really stiff, so you have to get used to bring your elbows forwards and do some. And some guys will get so stiff in the shoulders, and the next thing they're just doing these super wide squats, and I'm like, you've got to bring it in and come under, which is going to help loosen you off. But and at the same time, you're getting stiff, your lats are getting stiff, your shoulders getting stiff, your traps are getting stiff, your chest is getting stiff, and that's affecting all of your shoulder mobility. So you've got to look at all these areas and be on top of it. But anyway, I digress. Let's get rid of this. Good. There's a lot of work that I would do is when I'm stretching, I try and have my back as straight as possible. And so when I'm coming down here, if I'm doing a pancake stretch, so I'm stiff here now, then my back is nice and straight, and then it comes down and bends on my hips. A lot of guys tend to arc over. You're like, yeah, I'm doing a mega stretch. I'm like, well, yeah, you're leaning forwards, but are you using the full potential for that stretch? A good way to do it is when you sit upright, you can actually feel your spine straight, and then you can feel that lean, and then you feel the stretch here. If you're just arcing, you can just drop over. Yeah, there's a time and place. You can do that, that's cool. But if you want to improve it, you've got to keep that really, really strict position and lean forwards and hold. Breathe in, hold, breathe out, and you just come up and down, you know. And you can do that, you know, right, left, centre, move all different positions. Come down long holds, you know, again, minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. If you want to do extended holds, that's up to you. And then you can just walk around. Again, good holds. This arm over, touching the other side, so you're stretching down across your lower back. And work on all ends, back forwards, hold. Come up, go right, cool. Leg in. You may find, if you're super tight, this will be sat up here. Ideally, leg down, push down. And in this position, as I was talking about before, this is where you can find that sometimes guys will lean forwards and they lose that strength. You know, try and get your ass dead flat on the floor and bending so you're getting a stretch. Yeah. Foot to knee or over the top. Pushing down through. Ideally, keeping your hips dead flat on the floor and then pushing through. Again, long holds. I'm rushing this right now. I'm trying to give you an example. Long holds. You know, both my ass cheeks on the deck. Hold. So it's Jocko podcast player. Hold. Push down, extend. Come up over. Really work down through the outside of the hips. That's tight. Hold. Come out. Push back. Lean forwards. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Come down. Come around. Come down. Come up. Stretch. Makes sense? Again, I'm arcing over there, and I can arc over for so long. Hold, hold, hold. Count up 30 seconds. Straight back. You know, if need be, you could have something fixed here and something fixed against your feet as well, so then you can push against it. Come forwards, hips down, toes, alternate hips. Obviously, whatever you're going to do, have a good warm up before. Yeah, then you can make your calf, play with the bloody curtain. And then same again, you know, you can vary stretch. Come down, that's my back arcing, get that stretch across my lower back, and your hamstrings and glutes. Or, you know, you come forwards, your back dead straight, you're really stretching it. You can also do this stretch on the side, straight leg, bending your back forwards. Compression work, but that's for your abs and your core. Some individual work. Again, repeat, repeat. I tend to, if I'm going through head to toe, as I work through the areas, if I've passed it and I'm on someone else, then I'll quickly come back to it and I'll go on again. So I keep hitting it, keep hitting it, keep hitting it. And then, you know, months ago, remember we were talking about stretching your feet. You know, you tend to sometimes when you sit, you splay your feet out, so keep your feet nice and straight and in line, ankles in line, and really work that the flexibility and mobility. And there's lots of ways you can do this. You know, you can stand at an angle, stretching out your calves, coming up on your toes, back down. Send me another side. Yes, I'm going to get my tattoos finished. And loads back on the Fubuki all over these. It's going to look epic. And then big twin samurai on the back, Polynesian on my chest, lines, arms relined. It's a lot. See, as you can see, I'm stiff through my inside of my hamstrings here, so it's kind of bringing me over here, whereas I want to be over here without trying and nice and loose. So again, I've got to work back at it to bring myself across, because I'm naturally falling because I've got weak. If need be, post out and you can push yourself across. You can, you know, extend it to my leg, work the hips. You can then walk your hips around as well. There's tons of different stretches. It's literally just finding your body and working the areas. It's not a black art. It's just, oh, that's tight, stretch that. Oh, that's tight, stretch that. And it's pretty simple when you go systematically work through it. Head down to toes, and then, as I said, if you need to, go back up. So there's food for thought. So that's what I'm kind of doing now. I'm going to stop rushing through and sort of refocus on myself. And as I said, I want to get my flexibility and mobility back in all areas, from top of my body all the way down to my ankles. And I will make this happen so I can be a machine.